Moving on to news from Sri Lanka, talks with the International Monetary Fund on a bailout package have made solid progress. Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe said on Tuesday as he presented an interim budget aimed at boosting revenue and mending the country's battered finances. Earlier, Japanese Finance Minister Shunichi Suzuki said that Tokyo will coordinate with other creditors to resolve Sri Lanka's deepening financial crisis, urging all creditor nations to gather and discuss the South Asian nation's debt at the same table.
Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe on Tuesday presented an interim budget to boost revenue and fight inflation in the country and said talks with the International Monetary Fund (IMF) on a bailout package have made solid progress. The budget revised up the island nation's deficit projection for 2022 to 9.8% of the gross domestic product from 8.8% earlier, while outlining a slide in tax revenue and a sharp net increase in expenditure. Unveiling the measure in Parliament, President Wickremesinghe added that the government would aim to rein in inflation and introduce legislation to bolster central bank independence. The island nation of 22 million people is battling its worst economic crisis since independence from Britain in 1948. Wickremesinghe, who took over as the country's president last month, is pushing to bring in fiscal consolidation measures agreed with the IMF, which currently has a team of officials visiting Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan officials hope the budget will be followed by a preliminary staff-level agreement with the IMF for a loan package worth between $2 billion and $3 billion. Earlier, Japanese Finance Minister Shunichi Suzuki said on Tuesday that Tokyo will coordinate with other creditors to resolve Sri Lanka's deepening financial crisis, urging all creditor nations to gather and discuss the South Asian nation's debt at the same table. Wickremesinghe told Reuters this month that Sri Lanka would ask Japan to invite the main creditor nations to talks on restructuring bilateral debts. He said he would discuss the issue with Prime Minister Fumio Kishida in Tokyo next month.